everybody. Welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Happy holidays, everybody. Hope your holiday season is going well. Hope you're doing well and not getting too stressed out or too crazy with all the craziness going on out there. And I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed season. Of course, we are wishing you and yours all the joys of the holiday season and a wonderful upcoming new year. May it be a great one for all of us. We just did a spectacular Christmas episode yesterday, where we were singing Christmas carols with some of our celebrity friends from all around the world. If you missed that episode, check it out. It was memorable. And we've had some amazing guests of late with us. Karen Grassley, who played the mom on Little House on the Prairie, was with us. We also had Lawrence Juber, you know, of course, was Paul McCartney's guitarist in Wings and so much more. He was with us. Barry Livingston from My Three Sons was with us. Yes. We also had Debbie Campbell. Yes, the award-winning vocalist, country music singer, author, activist, and also daughter of Glenn Campbell. She was just on a couple of nights ago. If you missed any of those episodes or any of the other almost 600 episodes of our entertainment lifestyle talk show series, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. This isn't really like an interview show, though we do interviews. This is like an old school variety talk show series. Think Dick Cavett, Johnny Carson, Mike Douglas, Merv Griffin, blended in with the modern vibe of today. So our shows are different every time we do them. The format's the same, but the topics, the guests, the interaction with the viewers, who we call loveties, is different every time. So you really have an opportunity to really enjoy a lot of different things that we do here on the show. Spread the word about our series, as so many of you do so beautifully. Want to let you know in just a second, a dear friend and an icon in the business, and she's so humble. We love her. Everybody loves her. Lisa Fischer, Grammy-winning vocalist, song goddess extraordinaire, is with us. One of the most incredible souls you'd ever have the pleasure of meeting. Beautiful inside and out. And I've had opportunities to actually work with her at Carnegie Hall for various holiday concert events through our mutual friend, award-winning composer and PBS presenter of several PBS specials, Tim Janis. And he's a dear friend of Lisa's and mine. And we've had an opportunity to work at Carnegie Hall on these specials, where I was master of ceremonies and she, one of the brilliant performers on stage. So that's how we actually met, was in New York City at those events. And we'll talk about that in just a second. But if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, which is the channel you're watching right now, boy, we invite you to do that. It's so easy to do. You just click that red button you see there that says subscribe. There's no cost. And that lets us know you're enjoying all these episodes of incredible entertainment, poignant conversations, levity, and our famous lovity as well. And also click like if you enjoy this episode and any of the episodes of our series. And leave a comment for us as well. We would absolutely love that. Matter of fact, I see a lot of comments coming in here already from our loveties. We'll check in with the loveties in just a second. First, I want to welcome our very special guest, Lisa Fischer, to the show. Again, she's extraordinary. After 4 decades of featured background singing with icons like Luther Vandross, the Rolling Stones, Chaka Khan, Tina Turner, 9 Inch Nails, Ms. Lisa Fischer set out to take center stage with her own humble, heartfelt song, and so much more. The 2013 Best Documentary Oscar-winning film, 20 Feet from Stardom, you may remember that, altered the course of her musical journey, telling her story with clips of her legendary duets with Sting or Mick Jagger. Yep, left audiences eager to see and hear her more. So Lisa took the chance to set out on her own, reinventing classic songs with her co-conspirators, JC Maillard. I actually worked on a PBS special with JC, Such a Small World, and also Grand Baton. The organic fusion of Caribbean psychedelic soul and jazzy progressive rock ignited Lisa's flexibility and freedom of expression, awakening her lifelong desire to make music that heals, which is very important, but still rocks the house. If you've seen her perform, you know exactly what I'm talking about. She is one of my favorite vocalists on the planet. When you hear her sing, all troubles melt away. While Lisa's range is legendary, her greatest gift is the ability to connect. And you know, we're very big about that here on the Jim Master Show Live, is connecting with an audience. In this case, our loveties. She likes to reach the hearts of her listeners. Raised in Fort Greene neighborhood of Brooklyn, she emerged from New York's fervent studio scene in the early 1980s, sang for 2 decades with legendary vocalist Luther Vandross, and released So Intense, earning her first Best R&B Performance Grammy with How Can I Ease the Pain. She joined the Rolling Stones for their 1989 Steel Wheels tour and continued to grace their stage for the next 26 years. Lisa's passion for constant growth and experimentation with different styles invited recent collaborations with jazz pianist Taylor Aglisi, Sting, Bruce Springsteen, Michael McDonald, and many, many others. Billy Childs, Yo-Yo Ma, the BBC Proms, Jules Buckley, and the Metropole Orchestra. Yes, Alonzo King, Lines Ballet, and many, many others, including an HBO special too. A wonderful evening program, the classic Lisa Fischer with Baton and the Seattle Symphony, Cincinnati Symphony, the National Philharmonic, and so much more. And she just completed a fall and early winter tour as well. And we are so honored to have her here, especially during holiday week. It's sort of like a gift for all of us to have her here on the show. Everybody, I see all these comments coming in here. We will check your wonderful comments in just a second, but won't you clap with me and welcome the incomparable Lisa Fischer to the Jim Master Show Live. Lisa, welcome, my friend. How are you?
Oh, what a beautiful introduction. Thank you, Jim. I'm good. I am so good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Like I said, about an hour ago, I just got my booster shot, so we're flying high.
It's almost like you're waiting. It's like, do I feel something? I don't know. Do I feel something?
Exactly right. Am I hot? Am I cold? I mean, we were at the pharmacy. I was saying, oh, are you hot? Am I hot? Am I cold? It's so
and I'm
good
loving
to
the
see you.
haircut, man. I'm digging
I
it.
tell you, the last time you saw me, it was short, right? It was
Yep.
shorter. And during the pandemic, we just said, hey, I've always wanted to do it. So we've got that Greek god look.
It's looking good. You're doing
And
good.
I said, let's let it roll. And then the true test after that was actually wearing it on television in the professional roles on PBS and elsewhere. And they were like, we love it. Keep it.
Oh,
So that's what we're doing. I mean, it's a lot to maintain.
Right.
It likes to end up in my soup and in my cereal.
It's like, we're going to be your official taste testers.
Exactly right. Yeah. So sometimes I walk around the house with, hats on and ski caps and a bandana, different things to hold it back. Otherwise, it has a mind of its own, I want to show you some of the levity that's coming in. Since we're live, we have our wonderful audience watching around the world. Good evening, Mr. Lovely. Good evening, lovelies from Linda watching in Florida. Dawn says hello. Maureen is in Arizona. She's all excited. She's a nurse getting ready to retire after many years in the healthcare industry and working through the whole COVID situation. Good evening, Jims and lovelies everywhere. Had a great start this week. I hope you did as well. We absolutely have. All this love coming in here. Mary Bishop is watching from Florida. She says hello. She's down in Pine Island, Florida. We're all excited to see everybody here. And thanks for all these comments, gang. This is really nice. We love all the comments from everybody watching. Toby says she's in Encino, California. Welcome, Lisa. Very nice. And cheers. We love that. Thanks to everybody. Keep the comments coming live where we're here. We love taking them and bringing them to light. Look at all this love. Linda Odell says, welcome, Lisa, to the Lovity Squad show.
I love the Lovity Squad.
I was going to say, I told Lisa already, and Lisa was born a Lovity, so she knows what it's about. But I was telling her about how the show, just turned into Lovity because I accidentally said that word. Merlin says, Lisa with hearts from Ontario, Canada.
Merlin.
Ontario, Canada. Yeah, I love it. Good stuff here.
I love it.
So how have you been with all of this craziness? Obviously, it's been an interesting time. And as the prolific performer you are, you count on having the ability to be out there and, inspiring the listeners, the consumers of your fabulous material. How have you been?
I've been really good at balancing and trying to focus on what's real and what's important for me,
Yes. Yes.
because sometimes the mind gets so cluttered. My mind gets so cluttered with so much stuff that's happening. I always feel, especially as I'm getting older, I'm trying to mm, keep up with everything. Like, what's the new internet thing I need to know? And, what's the new update on the phone? And the this
Yes.
and the that. And things are changing so quickly and so much
Yes.
that I feel like there's just so much to keep up with.
Yes.
And
Yes. There is.
so now I'm at the point where I'm looking and I'm saying, okay, so what's really on fire? Because
Yeah.
my old habit is, when you start something, you need to finish it. Now it's kind of like things are coming so quickly and changing so quickly, you may not need to finish every single detail because those details are
Yes.
now old.
Yes. Right. Exactly. A lot of people have been saying that they've been sort of giving themselves some room to breathe, to go a little bit easier on themselves, to
Hmm.
cut some slack a little bit, saying, you know what, life is short, life is precious.
Yes.
Maybe it doesn't have to be, in the way that I always thought it did, because oftentimes it doesn't happen that way anyway. So maybe let's just enjoy the ride,
Yeah.
and if you found that to be the case, I mean, I know you've always enjoyed the ride, but have you found that this time of great pause and reflection has given you time to sink your teeth a little bit even deeper into those experiences?
In between the panic, yes. In between all of the worry and fear, uh, you get to a point where you feel like a piece of bacon on a very old hot iron stove in some little store somewhere. And at this point, I'm kind of like, I need to think differently. I need to be kinder to myself and be extra kind to others, especially now. People are really on edge.
Yeah, there's a lot of
So
hurt out
yeah,
there. Yeah.
yeah,
And music can really, as you know, be, and this is so apropos for what you like to deliver anyway. It can be
yeah,
so healing for people, in
yeah.
everyday times, but especially now, people have been turning to music and to nostalgia, and they've been baking bread and doing all the different things that have always been there. I mean, have you baked a few loaves yourself, or
You would think I have, but I have not. I've been afraid to even go down that road. I've been cooking a lot, though. I've been
have you?
cooking a lot. Yeah.
Any specialties?
Ooh, I
What's a
make a
Lisa Fischer
lovely fish
specialty?
stew. Yeah.
Ooh, what's in it?
Oh my gosh, it's usually a white fish, like either a cod or a salmon, and it's in a
Mm.
tomato-based broth with fresh herbs and garlic.
Just listening to you
And
describe it is like, this
yeah,
is like
it's
a,
really good. Potatoes, little potatoes. Yeah.
this is food ecstasy on the Jim Master Show live. And just this, this the way you said the bacon on the stove and the store, just nobody can quite describe it like you. You,
I'm a
you
bit of a foodie. Yeah.
Oh, this is a
Mhm.
foodie crowd too. See, you're in good company here, Lisa,
Good.
for sure. Just want to show you some comments coming in. Toby says, Lisa does rock. Absolutely. Jones says, welcome, Lisa, to Lovely Hall. What an honor to meet you.
Oh, it's lovely
Jen
to meet you.
Jen Barry in Pennsylvania watching says, Lisa, you're now a lovety.
Hi.
Love that as well. And also, we're excited that the Lisa Fischer fan club is here, saying, so thrilled to
Hey.
see the chat with Ms. Fisher tonight.
Yay. Thank you, Naish. Thank you so
Yeah, we
much. Oh,
love
that's
that.
awesome.
Isn't it nice when there's lovities out everywhere that believe in you and understand
Yeah.
what it is you're doing and appreciate it
Yeah.
and want to support it and spread the word in so many different ways? That's a beautiful
Yeah.
thing. And I know you've always
Yeah.
been very cognizant of that and respectful towards that. And I think that's a beautiful thing, right?
Yeah. It's special. It's so beautiful. Oh.
Maureen,
Oh,
Maureen
we're
says,
happy to welcome you.
Melody
Aw.
Hall, Lisa, looking forward to some wonderful conversation. Merlin in Canada says, welcome, Lisa, to Lovety Hall. Gary in Iowa says, welcome, Lovety, Lisa. Yes, yes, I love all this. Kathleen in New York City says, welcome, Lisa. Mary in Florida says, welcome, Lisa. Jane
Hi.
watching in Sweden says, welcome, Lisa. She's one of our regular
Wow.
Loveties in Sweden as well. Some more love back from the Lisa Fischer fan club. Clapping.
Aw.
Alessandra, welcome to Lovety Hall, Lisa. She's in North Carolina. Welcome to your Lovety family. We love that.
Yes. That's
And
so beautiful. What a great audience.
they really are.
Yeah.
Absolutely. They really, really are. And it's really, really nice to see everybody commenting and everybody. They're all also saying hello to each other as well. And I think that's absolutely awesome.
Oh, it's like a
Yeah.
family.
It's all become like a family. Now you got Gary craving the bacon. I love bacon.
That's funny.
We're a foodie group. That sounds delicious. I know. Yeah. The way she describes it. So
Do
it's
you cook,
been,
by the way, Jim?
yes. Yeah. Oh, I make a
Oh,
really mean meatloaf.
oh,
Oh,
don't tell me that.
so good. I like comfort food.
Oh,
I'm mashed potatoes, and that's the Irish part of me. Loves those mashed potatoes.
baby, baby.
Hmm.
Ooh. I made a lamb stew with some nice potatoes.
Did you?
I did, and I'm learning that certain potatoes react differently.
They do.
You
Yes.
know, like new
Yeah.
potatoes versus little teeny potatoes, and the yellow ones are more creamy. And so,
Yeah.
you have to kind of add them with the right thing. It's been really, COVID's been a little crazy, but it's been great for cooking.
Hasn't it? Yes, it has, and eating.
Yes. Oh,
So like I
well,
said,
yeah,
that they told
yeah.
us that we have to be 6 feet, apart from one another, unfortunately, but they failed to mention we're supposed to be 10 feet away from our refrigerators. So you and I have had these wonderful occasions to be at glorious Carnegie Hall at events like these with all
Oh,
the other
yes.
fabulous friends. And
Yeah.
this was one night that I remember where this is behind the stage there at Carnegie Hall with
Oh,
our
wow.
other mutual friends, Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway. And I
Yes.
was emceeing, and you were a glorious performer there as well. And it was just a wonderful evening, and that was a beautiful moment. And I
Yeah.
absolutely have always loved this photo.
Oh, that was early on, no?
That was during like the rehearsals. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that was during the rehearsals, and you were belting it out as usual.
Oh,
But that was backstage at
wow.
Carnegie Hall, and that's just quintessential you, just quintessential you. You grew up in New York in the city. Tell us about some of those early inspirations in your life. Were you surrounded by music and artistry? What inspired you to want to pursue this and share this in the glorious way with all of us as you do, Lisa?
Yeah, definitely surrounded by music. My parents loved music. They were young parents. They were 15, 16, 17, teens. By the time my dad was 19, my parents had 3 kids already. And so they were young and into the music. And, we were living in the projects in Brooklyn. And, no air conditioning back then. Our version of air conditioning was a fan with a bowl of ice in front of the fan, and that was our air conditioning. And so the windows would be open often. And especially during the summer, you would just hear all this music coming from different places, radios, the cars outside. The front of the building would have one type of music playing, and in the back would have an array of different types of music playing because there was a drummer that lived in the area, and you could hear him practicing. And so there was lots of Motown. There was
Oh
lots of,
boy.
oh God, going to church and hearing church music on Sundays, and radios,
Mhm.
AM, FM radio, and
Yes.
You know,
Did you guys
sometimes,
have block parties? We had out east on Long Island, we had block parties too,
oh
where the
yeah,
neighborhood would come together and everybody
yeah,
made something and kids are playing in the street. And, I know a lot of that has gone away, but boy, how great that was to have
that
all
was the
of that in the
best.
music. And some of our neighbors that had lived across the street, nice. We loved them. The Gittens family, they would have some of the best New Year's Eve parties. They
Mm.
were originally from Trinidad and lived in the West Indian portion of
Oh
Brooklyn
baby, yes.
and then had moved out east to the island. And
And
I
the
have
music,
never had, uh, I would always beg Maggie to make me some of that pigeon peas and rice. Oh my God.
yes,
This
oh
the way she
yes.
would make that. It was just
Oh,
the music and the warmth and the familial way. Just they were like some of my parents' favorite neighbors, and we were so close. And
yeah,
but the block parties and all of the love and the music everywhere,
yeah.
it was just fantastic. So a lot of that influenced you early on. You were paying heed to all of that, huh?
Yeah, I did. I just loved hearing the scope of music. Like, you know, you'd hear what was on the radio, but then my grandparents would bring in Nat King Cole or
Yes. Yeah.
Morgana King
Oh
or
yeah.
um, God, Carmen McRae or
Mm.
God, Johnny
Oh
Mathis,
yes.
you know, and so you get to hear all these different voices and
Any Shirley
styles. And,
Bassey in there?
oh yeah,
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 yeah.
gotta have a sprinkle of that too.
Yes.
You
Well,
know,
Goldfinger.
yeah, right. Yeah, or the fifth dimension, you know.
Oh, yeah.
When the moon is in the seventh house. I'm like, yeah.
Yes. So who were you listening to? Who were the artists that you had the influence of your parents in the music, but who was listening to?
I listen to a lot of Motown records, Bobby Lewis, oh gosh, Dan Ross, Dionne Warwick for
Oh,
sure,
yeah, sure.
Aretha, um, Cher,
Mm,
um, God, the Carpenters,
yeah.
ABBA, you know,
What a
because again,
great
you had the FM
variety.
and the AM
Yeah.
radio.
Right, exactly. Yes.
And then the weird thing I would always notice is that the AM radio would always play everything like a hair faster than the FM radios.
Yes. Yeah.
Like I would hear sometimes the same song on AM and FM. I
Yeah.
was like, something's different. Something's I go, oh, the AM radio plays it brighter, you know?
Right. It actually does. Yes.
And
It's not
so it kind of got my ear tuned to because I can remember the records like the keys in my head, like how I remember them as a child. And I think something about that AM FM radio thing kind of helped me with that, you know, just noticing, being able to notice the difference. But I listened to, God, who else did I listen to? Who did, is it Cat Stevens? Did Cats in the Cradle?
Oh, that was Harry Chapin.
Ah,
Yes, Harry Chapin from out on Long Island. Yeah. The
that
cat's in the
record.
cradle and the silver
Oh,
spoon.
I
Little
love
boy
that
blue and the
record.
man in the moon.
Oh my
I
God.
know, I know. Gone
The
too soon for sure, Harry.
Yeah, and the orchestration, I was just like, oh, it's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
Or I would get I had this old West Side Story album and it
Ooh.
was red. I
Mhm.
guess it was probably my parents. It must have belonged to my parents. I don't remember buying it. But I would wear that thing out. So we just listened to all kinds of stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Anything that was good. My mind was open, you know. And then going to
Absolutely.
after I started college and I started to listen to a bit more classical music, which was so much fun, like choir music and
Mhm.
things in different languages. And I was just like, oh, this is so cool, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were very open to exposing yourself to a lot of different sounds and cultural influences and presentations, which I think is great because that makes it just much more a richer experience. And when you are in situations where that's what it calls for, you have an understanding and you can sort of, meld into that or work that into some of your own repertoire, right?
Yeah, it really does help. At that point, it's just music. It's
Right.
not categories. It's just, um, I mean, I guess we need categories for organizing, um, but I still feel like there's a sense of freedom within those categories. It's either you love it or you don't, you
Right.
know?
Right.
And I just love the freedom of that. I love that so much. It's like
Coming
I go
up,
to different countries and I,
yeah.
hear music on the streets or on the radio and I go, wow. I just love that. Or I go to restaurants and I'll hear music playing and I just love hearing just all the different expressions.
You're very in tune with it. Yeah, I'm very in tune as well. That might be something that I've been told. It's a couple of things I've been told by a lot of these different people that either I've interviewed professionally or that I've just come across. And I think you've got it as well. And it's a good thing. Operating from a higher consciousness, intuitive, and a high level empath. That really, those things, when I've heard you sing, not just the Carnegie Hall, I've been, an admirer of your work and your being for years, well before we ever met at Carnegie Hall and worked together. Um, all of those things exude that higher consciousness, that understanding of the human condition, of love, of warmth, of healing, as well as the intuitive nature, especially with working with people and understanding maybe operating from a point of emotional intelligence, understanding their plight, being empathetic, and a high level empathetic person as well. All of those things pour out of your
Mm.
vocal prowess, but also your heart and soul when you're performing. At least that's what I always absorbed. So that's why, even with those Carnegie Hall shows with Tim, I love being in the seats when you're just rehearsing because it's
Yeah.
like
There should be
the
two
roof comes off
concerts.
Carnegie Hall a little bit. It's like, okay, everybody, shh, you're going to hear, if you didn't feel good when you walked in, listen to this. And this is just the rehearsal.
Right, right.
But
It's so funny. I
definitely,
have friends that would prefer to only be at rehearsal as opposed to the show.
isn't
And
that something? Yeah. Isn't,
mhm.
isn't that something how it works?
Yeah, they like the seeing the process.
The whole process behind the
Yeah,
scenes and what it takes. And it's a lot of work, as you know, it's a lot of
yeah.
work. But that higher consciousness, intuitive, high level empath, I think that is also Ms. Lisa Fischer as well.
It's I always feel for people who are that way because it's a sensitive place to be and it's really hard to just turn off. It's almost painful. It has to be turned off in light of survival, you know, because you kind of want to give the shirt off your back all the time, and want to make sure everybody around you is comfortable because if somebody's uncomfortable, then you're not comfortable. It's like if one is hurting, you're hurting.
Exactly right.
And
And you
it's,
have to sort of create, I mean, I've been forced to have to actually create some sense of limited boundary a little bit. And that's
come
very
on, Jim.
difficult. Yeah, it was difficult to do because it doesn't come naturally to create that. But so you can breathe, you can sleep, you can eat, you can think, you can enjoy and savor you have to sort of and there's a whole story to it. Maybe one day when I see you again, I
Yeah.
mentioned it a couple of times briefly. I was on a TV shoot in Nevada, and I had the rental car, and I ended up driving alone, unannounced, nobody knew, in the dead of August with a rental car through Death Valley,
Ooh.
and that really put the mirror on me in ways where I was always running to the aid of others, always lifting others, always supporting others. And now
Yeah.
this was me, Mother Nature, the divine, and the earth. And I was driving in 100-degree weather in a rental car, and nobody knew, and it was ad hoc, and I just drove through. And there's a whole story to it. People said I should write a book, and because it really changed my life. And it was just about
Wow.
2-3 years ago when it happened. And it was amazing, because out of it, I learned that the world will continue to spin on its axis, whether I rescue it all the time or not.
Mm.
That I need to put the oxygen mask on me first before I always want to put it on everybody else, which is something that even when I'm on the airplane and I hear the flight attendants say, now, when the mask drops, get it on you first, then help them. About 10% of me still goes, no, that's not how I was raised. That's not, it's help thy fellow man first. But now I understand you have to have the oxygen so you can help others. And
Yeah.
also I learned, because when I drove in, the fact that I didn't have loving family and friends in that rental car with me after that TV shoot, and I just somehow some energy pulled me into Death Valley, and it had to be Death Valley. It had to be stripped earth, because my go-to place is the ocean. I love the ocean. I grew up near the coast, the
Mm.
ocean, swim, surf, boogie board. The ocean is a go-to place. It couldn't be a city, couldn't be a lush forest. It had to be stripped raw earth for me to get the message
Yeah.
that I have to have the oxygen mask on me. The world will spin continually, whether I continue to rescue it. And also, when I first drove in, I had deep, extreme self-imposed guilt. And the guilt was that I was not sharing the breathtaking visual beauty and sensations that I was getting
Ooh.
from this monumental place of Death Valley. And I was not sharing that. I was not the facilitator of the excitement and the oohs and ahs for the family and friends who were not in the car. I
Right.
like being the facilitator, the host, the presenter of
Right.
joy for others.
Yeah.
This was a self experience, a self exploration, which I was starting to write off as, I think I'll go back to the hotel and I will come back one day to Death Valley with family and friends and we'll experience it then. And I had these 3 choices from what felt really like strong energies, like the earth,
Yeah.
Mother Nature, and the divine, saying, you can do that. But
Yeah.
who knows when you're ever going to come back to Death Valley? Who knows if that is ever going to come your way?
Yeah.
So you can turn the car back, go to the hotel, or keep going. I went. And as I kept driving further in, that self-imposed guilt of not having the loved ones and friends in the car to enhance the situation started to become a liberating experience. A weight was being lifted, and the understanding that it
Wow.
was really a gift that was just for me, and it's okay. I'm the only one in the room right now, so take the gift. And I had
Yeah.
to learn that by having that happen.
It's
So
so crazy. First of all, what a beautiful experience and blossoming, really. And
yeah,
there's something about, you know, the word death, you know,
yes,
and,
yes,
and, just the fear that it puts in people and
yes,
the discomfort we have is in different societies about death.
yes,
Um, if, if we could imagine that death is just a veil that we walk through to get to the next destination. If it were called something more romantic, the 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 walk, the
yes,
journey,
right,
the 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 flight, the whatever, if it
yes.
was something that had a different picture,
The next
that's
adventure.
I think it would be a different energy around it. You know, yeah, it's an interesting thing, and so it's almost as though the death of the thought that you had about being in Death Valley without your loved ones, and just accepting that gift was sort of kind of a beautiful death,
That's
a
exactly how
beautiful
people
ending.
described it. Yes, it was a birth
Yeah.
and a death at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was very interesting because it allowed me to create those boundaries that we need to create.
Mm-hmm.
I understand the mask now, the oxygen mask, and that there's times I'll be in the room and that um, I can't tell you how many times I'm driving the car. And it always seems to be when we're on the Massachusetts Turnpike and I'm driving and everybody else is in the seats. And I'm the only one who sees the shooting star. Like, "Did you see
Oh,
that? Oh, no, I was looking away. Did you see that back there? Oh, no, I nodded off.
it's on my
You didn't see the
phone.
shooting star?" I'm always the one that sees it.
Yeah.
But now I realize that's a gift. It doesn't
Yeah.
make it better only because everybody else saw it and I was the one who gave them the gift, 'cause I like to be the gift giver, the caretaker. There are
Yeah.
times when it comes to you and you have to let it ride. The only thing I did say to some folks that I talked to, I said, "Gee, it would have been great if that happened when I was, 20 or, 25 or whatever." And they're like, "No, no, it wasn't supposed to. You wouldn't have
Yeah.
recognized it. You
Right.
might have shunned it. You weren't
Yeah.
ready. You had to live life, have these experiences, and then when this was gifted to you, accept it and roll with it." And that's
Yeah.
what you did. But earlier in life, that probably was something you wouldn't have seen, acknowledged, or been ready for.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
had a Death Valley type experience in your life where it was life changing just because of something like that?
Hmm. You know, I know it's going to sound really corny, but waking up every day these days feels like a Death Valley experience.
Just a different kind of mask too, right?
Baby,
Yeah.
I'm just like, I've
That and
never.
Twilight Zone.
Oh my gosh. I guess what makes me, well, so there's the yin and the yang of it, the life, the death, the opposites, the oppositions.
Yes.
You know, one side is being forced to slow down, being forced to be with yourself, being forced to be around the people that you've chosen to be around, you
Right.
know, or the people that you haven't chosen to be around.
Right.
Um, to really see each other, to really trim away the things that suck the life out of you.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
um, those things became very clear. Um, and then the other side of it is just the pure panic, the pure, we're brought up to be in control of ourselves and our lives and our environments and our futures and all this stuff. And now we're like, have no control,
Mm-mm.
none, no stability. Um, it's gotten me to the point where I feel like, okay, the lesson is nothing is stable. Everything changes. Everything moves. You have to enjoy what you have in your hand for the moments that you have it, and none of it
Yes.
belongs to you. We're just borrowing stuff as we go through this life.
Yes, we are.
It's like my body. I don't even own that. You know what I mean? It's like I own it as I'm breathing, but
Yeah.
once the breathing stops, I don't own it anymore. You
Right.
know, so
Right.
you know, it's it's been kind of a Death Valley experience in a good way,
Yeah.
because I kind of feel like, as freaked out as I was last year, um, I kind of feel that whatever's coming that was just a dress rehearsal. There's going to be so many layers of things that we're going to have to um, live and breathe through
Yeah. Yeah.
and make personal. spiritual choices about and do our due diligence to be
Mm-hmm.
as clear as possible, or choose not to be, you know.
Right.
Realizing that everyone has their beautiful choices, that they
Exactly.
get to own and they get to see and make, um, and we get to hopefully make decisions that will leave a beautiful imprint in the places that need it. You know,
Beautifully
yeah.
said. Beautifully said. What are some things Lisa has learned about herself during all of this?
Hmm. But I still feel like a child. I still feel as much sadness that can sometimes surround us, that I can still see the world like a child. Um, it's the it's one of the few things that helps me to survive it all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that if I didn't have music in my life, I don't know where I would be. I kind of
Yes.
knew it before, but I
Right.
got to a point where I was just so afraid of just all the stuff that was going on,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, if I'm not able to get up and sing and connect to people, why am I here? Why am I living? You know? And when you start to question on that level, it sort of made me feel like, okay, well, I know I want to live, but I don't feel alive unless I am doing what I'm loving to
Right.
do, and that's connecting with people. And um, it, as much as I tend to want to be by myself a lot, it made me kind of really crave wanting to be around people in a more meaningful way. You know, it could be a smaller group of people. It can be a big audience. It could be one-on-one. It could be through the computer. But just taking the time to really be present, like I was when I was little. You know, I feel like my life was moving so quickly as, the internet and the world is moving so quickly that I wasn't in all of the moments that I wanted to be in. And I realize now that I'm in charge of that. I can't let those moments be in charge of me. That I have to breathe life into space and make those moments full and
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. And yeah, because, something as simple as just your phone, just holding onto your phone, you know, the beauty of turning that sucker off and just like feeling untethered and just floating and, you know, taking that time for yourself was really important for me because I was kind of, you know, just on the phone too much, just
Yeah. Going through
busy
the
too much.
motions. Going through the
Yeah.
motions. Yeah. 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 So the timing actually was good because it was we needed this pause. We needed to stop and realign, and we weren't necessarily headed in a fabulous direction in many ways, and we needed this great pause that they say to stop, breathe, reboot, and sort of realign ourselves and everything else, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was weird. It's like and even with being able to see people, I got to the point where I didn't even want to see them on screen. I just wanted to be on the phone and hear their
Yes.
voices. I
Yes.
didn't want to be aware of them being aware of what I was
Mhm.
seeing. I didn't
Right.
want I just wanted, it's almost like being blindfolded, but knowing that you're safely in the dark, but in that darkness, there's like warmth and beauty and safety. And, I just close my eyes and I speak and I hear the vibration of the person's voice and I'm with them. I feel like I'm right there, you know. I know it sounds corny, but I love all that
No,
stuff.
no. That's what life's all about. That is
Mhm.
exactly what it's all about, and you've got it, and you've always had it, which I think is beautiful. And as I said, it's reflected in what you do and how you do it. Early on for you, what would you say is one of those first pivotal breaks where people have said, "This Miss Lisa, she's something else. We need to foster this, grow this. We want to work with her." What would you
Um,
say early on for you was one of those major breaks or opportunities that you still look upon to say, "Wow, if that really didn't happen, then maybe some of
mm,
this other wouldn't have happened."
I would definitely say auditioning for Luther Vandross. And most people would probably think I would say working for the Rolling Stones. But the whole reason that I got to the Rolling Stones was because of Luther. And I think had I not had Luther in my life prior to that, um, I don't think um, I would have been recognized to have been found by the Rolling Stones, right? So, what I love, still love, and loved about Luther was, he was a teacher. He was sensitive. He had the most beautiful voice. He had a beautiful way of explaining what he needed vocally. And it wasn't, um, his love of the audience and the music was sacred. You know, every detail had to be just so. And he cared so much about what he presented. Every bead on an outfit had to be in its place. Every, the nails had to be done and glorious, and the crown and your hairstyle had to be just so, and the makeup had to be, you know, everything needed to be done with love and respect and purpose. And uh, when I would see him tie all those things together with the lyric of what he was singing, songs that he had written or songs that he covered, and he would just bring it all to life like a live movie on
Mhm,
stage.
mhm.
Um, it gave me a beautiful rootedness, um, and a great way to connect not only with my fellow bandmates and singers on stage, but connect to him without seeing him from an angle from behind. I could
Yeah.
tell by the way he would breathe what was coming next, Um, and I think just the intense rehearsals. We'd rehearse for a month and a half, to the point where you almost felt like, I know this so well, I could do this in my sleep. That's when you're ready to perform. That's when you're ready to do the show, because you're going to have all these lights and all these things
Yeah.
happening at the same time. You got these heavy gowns, these tight things on you, these toe cruncher shoes, killing your feet, and just all the stuff going on. So um, I'd been with Luther for, I don't know, 20 something years,
Yeah.
and then Tony King, who was the publicist for the Stones and for Mick Jagger, came to a Luther concert. And at that time, the Stones had broken up for a while, and Mick was on a solo tour and he was looking for a singer. So Tony suggested that I, come down and I audition. So that's kind of how that whole thing happened. But if
Mm.
I had not had the rootedness
Yeah.
of having finding myself, of figuring out my performance legs to, have a certain stance and presentation.
Right.
I don't know if they would have chosen me, to be honest.
Mm. What was that opportunity like to then move on to the Rolling Stones in the way that you did, again with Mick and the gang for quite a long time as well? There's a
Yeah,
cool
that
shot
was
there.
interesting. It was very interesting. I talked to Luther first because he spent so much time and effort and money
Yeah,
on outfits and presentation,
yeah,
that I needed to know that he was okay with me making a decision, um, because he had given me so much.
yeah.
Um, and so he was like, "Girl, you better go ahead and do your thing," you know. So, because usually what would happen is the Stones would tour and Luther would be off, and
Hmm.
then it would switch. The
Right.
Stones would be off, and then Luther would tour. So I could do both tours for years. It went on for years like that. And this one particular year, I had to make a decision. I was like, "Oh God,"
Mm.
you know. And so, but he was so good with it. He was so good with it, and it was beautiful. And so, leaving the love and security and warmth and family
Yeah.
feeling of, just all the other singers, of Cindy Mizell and Paulette Williams and Kevin Owens and Philip Ballou and, oh God, Brenda White King and Tuatha Agee, oh God, Valerie Pinks. There's so many singers that, throughout the years, Ava Cherry, um, so many singers and musicians throughout the years. It was like a family. And so now it's like being sort of, not moved over, but I knew that once I left, that I was leaving, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
Um, and so I'd been kind of back and forth with the Stones for a while, but I also know too that nothing is promised.
Hmm.
Um, every contract that's signed with the Stones is for a particular time period. So it was every musical group has a different set of different protocols
Hmm.
that work for their universes.
Right.
So for the Stones, when I look back at just, some of the stuff that happened when they were younger, um, it makes sense that they would have safeties in place to make sure
Hmm.
that they're cool, you know.
Right.
Um, and so, you know, Luther was the artist, and
Hmm.
everyone else around him was the support. So now with the Stones, you have four different personalities.
Exactly.
Yeah, five with five when I first started. So each of them are artists,
Hmm.
but collectively they're the art.
Right.
And each of them needed to have certain things for them to be okay, like we all do, right?
Hmm.
And so it was like cells and nucleus. They were all these little nuclei and people surrounding them and assistants and helpers and family and friends and crew and just so many things. And so
Yeah.
it was a lot for me to take in.
Like a big
You know,
entourage. Yeah.
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 Um, and I felt really lucky because it was such a beautiful experience to get to know all these people that love them and take care of them and are responsible for their, I don't want to say responsible for their well-being because that's an individual responsibility, but they definitely were there to make their lives easier, because it's hard on the road. I had a lot to learn. Bernard Fowler, the other male vocalist, was really helpful in just kind of getting me to understand how to approach the vocals. Because with Luther, he knew exactly what he wanted. He knew who was going to sing what note. He knew who was going to sing what tone at a particular
Yeah.
point in the music. The Stones was more about finding that vibe, finding it. It was like a discovery, you know, and an honesty. You had to get with yourself and figure it out. And Bernard, you know, one time we're on stage and we're learning something, and I was just like, well, I'll sing the fifth, and you know, are you singing the root? I'm looking at Mick, and he's looking at me like I have two heads. He's like, what?
Yeah.
You know? And Bernard was kind of like pulling me back, like, no. He's like, you should think about this like funkadelic. I was like, what do you
Right.
mean?
Right.
He's like, and for some reason, that totally made sense to me.
Right.
It was like, just go on the ride. Go on the ride and feel it. You know, don't try to predictate anything about positioning. You know, it's like when the guys get together and sing, they're just singing, you know. They're rolling. And it took me a minute to figure that out. But Bernard was really helpful with that. And then once I figured that out and learned how to switch my tone to sort of not stick out so much with the guys, but still give them the strength that they needed, it was fun. It was like learning how to paint in a different kind of way. You know, singing with guys that sing the way that they do, it's a whole nother thing. You know, if you hear a place where a space that you could fill, you just jump right on in and you fill it. And you give, you know, the intention. It's the intention of what you're giving. You know? And I find that is true for all music.
Yeah.
That it is about the intention has to be so alive.
Yes.
It can't be phoned. When people say phoned in, you have your heart and your mind has to be one with the lyric and the melodies and the plan and the support and the jam and the experience, because it'll never happen the same way, exactly the same way again.
Exactly.
You know?
Right. Right. That's so beautifully said and so true. What are some other things you learned from that experience? I mean, that was quite a ride, huh?
Yeah, it was so great. The people grow and people change. Even the music, the Stones' music changed. It started out as a presentation, as a teenager, you know, as a kid or a teenager, and it was such a beautiful experience to watch the music grow within them as men, as human beings. The shifts and the turns. It was beautiful to see the audience bringing their kids and their grandkids, you know, sharing this experience and connecting. It was just beautiful. And just, you know, Mick is just such an amazing performer. He's so electric, and he's like a tiger, and you just never know what he's gonna do, you know. That was really exciting for me.
Yeah.
And it really made me keep an eyeball on him. It's like you almost have to kind of have three eyeballs. You need
Right.
you kind of need one here, one there, one for Keith, one for Ronnie, one for Charlie, one
Yeah.
for you need it for everything that's happening.
Yeah.
And um, and it was just so much, and so you started to be on stage and feel energy shifting. You could actually feel the
Hmm.
audience. You could feel in the
Yeah.
heat, in the summer heat, you could feel their energy coming
Hmm.
back at you. It's hard to describe. But it's so beautiful, and to be open and trusting that it's going to be okay no matter what happens.
Which
It's just
is,
so beautiful.
yeah, when it happens like that, it is hard to describe and it's hard to script it all. Do you guys stay in touch at all during the years?
Yes, their lives are so full,
Yeah.
and the longer we live, the fuller our lives get.
Yes.
Family, kids, and everything. Um, but I do get to talk to them every once in a while, and it's been really beautiful when I do.
Mm.
It's the funny thing about working for um, anyone is for me knowing when someone is ready to let go. Knowing when the conversation is over, knowing, and it doesn't have to be over forever, but some people are so desperate to hold on to the moments that they become a little insensitive to the natural flow of
Yes.
when a comma should be there or a period should be there, you know.
Exactly right.
And, you know, I love them to pieces, and I always try to be sensitive to that. Um, yeah, but if they need me, they know where I am. They
You
can
also
always reach
had
out to me.
other beautiful experiences. Chaka Khan, working with Chaka Khan. What was that like for you,
Oh,
Lisa? Yeah, huh?
she's so amazing. She's so amazing. She, when I was coming up, she was definitely uh, a huge inspiration. I mean, she was just her own. She couldn't help but be herself, you know. And I think for me, I felt like kids should be seen and not heard. And so it was so refreshing to see someone like her just like, living unapologetically out
Yes.
loud,
Right.
singing out loud, and just, and just, you know,
Yeah.
she's just a fireball. And um, I don't even think she realizes how beautiful she is and how deeply she's affected, um, that she's shaped uh, music,
Hmm.
for a lot of people.
Yes.
Um, Her approach, her the way that she interprets and feels music, and the way that she performs it. Um, she's oh
Mm-hmm.
God,
Mm-hmm.
she's like that powdered keg. You light it, you see the fizzle. That's what she's like to me. Every time, every time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's
And does
amazing.
she know you feel that way about her? Have you been able to express it to her?
You know, I don't think I had the words back then. I was kind of still young. Um, and, when you're working for someone, it might make them uncomfortable to say, You don't even understand how much I love you. You know, they'd be looking at you like, oh
Okay.
my
Yeah,
gosh. You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a
Clear,
part of
clear the
me
drool
that's,
a little bit, right? Yeah.
you know, but I guess she would, I hope she knows.
Yeah,
I'll have to write her a letter one day.
yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a beautiful thing
Yeah.
in words. Absolutely. Tina
She's,
Turner, another,
oh,
iconic person that you've had an opportunity to work with, and even not just work with, but sort of take it on, on stage, which was quite an experience. What was that like for you?
oh, being on stage with Tina,
Yeah.
insane.
Yes.
I literally had a bit of a breakdown because okay, so I was coming in to replace Gloria Rubin, who had another job, and and they were already on the road working, and I was like, okay, so they sent a choreographer for me to work with. They sent me videos. I would watch the movements. I would put the mirror in front of this really large TV so that I could reverse everything and then dance along and figure out how am I going to fit in and figuring stuff out. And I was just having a really hard time. And then the choreographer came and was helping me, trying to teach me the steps. And I got to a point where I thought, I'm not going to be able to do this. And I stood in the middle of the floor crying. I just wanted to get it. I wanted to figure this out. I was like, I worked with Luther. I've worked with choreographers before. How come I'm not getting this, you know?
Right. Right.
And I was really, really being hard on myself, and I knew time was ticking, and I needed to get it quick. And the choreographer was so lovely, and she just calmed me down, and she broke it down bit by bit, and I composed myself and figured it out. But sometimes you have to kind of break down in order to make space to figure out how you're going to attack something,
Exactly
you know,
right. Yeah.
after it's done attacking you.
Right. First it attacks you, and and then you take a step back, you breathe a little bit.
Yeah.
She, another, Tina Turner, another powerhouse, like you described Chaka Khan, just bang, right out there with an
Oh my
incredible
gosh.
force of energy and of
Oh,
love and everything, huh? Just really, yeah,
fearless.
fearless.
One
Yes.
time she was, that long, there was this long walkway from the stage that goes all the way out into the audience that has a little arm
Yeah.
at the end, but
Right.
there's no railing on the sides.
Right.
It's just like a
It's
thin walkway.
and then a
And
drop
I'm
off.
looking at her with these big old
Yeah.
tall heels on, just trotting like a racehorse across that thing, like
Here I
no
come.
problem.
Yeah.
And she's like, at 60, 70, 70 something. And I was like, you're not scared? And she looked at me and goes, ah, and then walked
Yeah.
away.
That's it.
She's like, it's fearless, just fearless. I
Yeah.
think she enjoyed it, It was
Yes.
exhilarating for her, She,
Yes.
she's a survivor of
Yes.
life, like
She
we
really,
all are in our own ways. And
yes, we are.
she just was not afraid. She
No,
was ready for that thing. She was
she
like,
was ready.
ah, amazing,
It really
amazing
sounds
woman.
like there's a theme here where you've picked up little nuances from each and have learned almost as if these have been all teachable moments from Mick and the Rolling Stones, from Luther, from Chaka Khan, from Tina Turner, and others. You didn't just come in, gig, and out. You were there to soak it up, learn, observe, watch, and maybe absorb some of the essences of what you're seeing here and seeing here and seeing there, and adding them to you. That's what I get out of all this, that you were learning as much as you were doing. It wasn't an in and out for you, which I think is fantastic.
It's interesting you put it that way, because I almost feel like luckily for me, there weren't a lot of colors on my palette. I didn't really have a clue as to what I had, who I was. Um, I was just in the moment being myself. And so everything's a lesson. And I kind of still feel that way even at 63. I'm looking at everything like a lesson. Um, there's always something beautiful to learn, you know. And I think if you come in with, with your bowl already full, then you can't walk away with anything from
Yes.
the situation, and that's okay too. A lot of people already are well developed and know exactly what they bring to the table, and that's a beautiful thing as well. It was just in my particular case that wasn't true. I had a certain skill set that was useful for the people that I was working with, and all the other stuff that came with it was just so great for me.
Hmm. I want to show a photo of this too. Tell us about that.
Ah, go Tina!
Yeah, huh?
Oh, God bless her.
I tell
She's
you,
so
huh?
amazing.
That's a really, really cool shot. And so is this. Tell us about this. What was happening here?
All
Yes.
right.
Another very
So,
important time for you.
yes, so to the left is the beautiful Joe Laurie. In the middle is the beautiful Judith Hill. And we were involved in a documentary called 20
Hmm.
Feet from Stardom. Gil Friesen, it was his baby. And then Gil found this amazing director named
Hmm.
Morgan Neville.
Hmm.
And he was just so gentle. He made us all feel comfortable to just chat and talk while he captured our feelings and thoughts on film. Um, and then once all the filming was done, I didn't see anything until the film went to Sundance.
Yes.
Um, and I was actually afraid to see it because I had no idea what anything looked like. Um,
But it was groundbreaking for sure.
I
Yeah.
was very lucky. I
Mm.
was very lucky.
For
They're
those who haven't
amazing
seen
women.
it, tell us about what that was about.
Say that one more time, my darling.
For those who never saw that documentary or haven't had a chance to see
Oh,
it,
yeah.
tell us about what it was about. It was really interesting, fascinating.
Yeah, it kind of followed, they kind of looked at people like Mary Clayton, Darlene Love, who are just iconic, wonderful singers and their lives, and how the background singer community, um, it's sort of one take on how the background singer community um, gave their gifts to the groups that they were recording for, working for, to the palette of what was going on at the time, uh, through the ages, through their ages. Um, I was a bit more in the middle between Mary, Darlene, and Judith. Um, Judith was the baby, is the baby, still the baby. And so each time period had a different weight to it. And so it just talks about, everyone's experiences and what they went through. But it's interesting the way I'm so grateful for the singers before me that have really kind of paved the way for me to be able to do what I do now in the way
Yes.
that I can do it. I mean, things aren't perfect for musicians right now,
No, it's a
and
tough,
singers
yeah.
and people in the music business, especially with all of the streaming and trying to figure out how musicians get compensated for the work that they've done.
It's like being
Um,
reinvented all over again, right? Yeah, it's a whole new
yeah,
learning curve and
yeah, it's
yeah.
it's it's a different universe out here. So I'm just grateful for the people that have gone out there and just did the thing, you
Right.
know. And
Right.
I can like go to music school and then come out of music school and then, you know, go out and find gigs and have a life and, you know, yeah. So yes, it's about, you know, support in a
Yes.
nutshell.
Right, exactly, which is very, very important to have support and to have that guidance along the way. And you do. I mentioned JC Maillard. I worked on projects and a PBS special, and he's brilliant. And you've had an opportunity to do fabulous things with him and this group here. Tell us about this.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
JC is the musical director and arranger for Baton. It's his
Mhm.
concept.
Yeah.
JC has the longest hair there.
Yes.
And then to the left is Terry Arpino, who's an amazing drummer. And his dad uh, is also, or was also a drummer. He's still with us, but he hasn't played in a while. But, you know, it's in his blood, you know. And so JC and Terry are great friends. Um, and that's how I met Terry. And I met Aiden, who's all the way on the right, Aiden Carroll, who's an amazing bassist and singer, songwriter, producer. Um, I met Aiden through JC. So all of them are
Mhm.
just together amazing, sensitive souls who are really present in the music in a way that I've not heard a lot of groups
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Every joining of a group is very different. And it's not to take away from any group at all. It's
No,
just that
yeah.
each joining is such a unique conversation between the
Ex-
musicians
Yeah.
that I was just so intrigued with how they communicated in the music with each other in support of what I was doing.
Mm.
You know, so I was really grateful for each of them. Yeah.
Look at that shot.
Oh God.
We did just a little digging.
Okay, so this is I was with Change. There's a
Hmm.
group called Change. Um, a guy named Fred Petrus, I believe, owned the name,
Hmm.
and it was comprised of uh, all the all the session singers and
Yeah.
musicians in New York, and Luther Vandross was a part of that. And so Luther sang "The Glow of Love." He sang "Holiday." No, he
Hmm.
didn't sing "Holiday." He might have sang background. I'm not sure,
Mm.
but he did "Searchin'" and the other one that I just mentioned.
Hmm.
Um, and so when Luther left, they kept changing the personnel.
Right.
And so here we have Jocelyn Smith is on the left. That's me. Phew, God, I was really a kid then. And Debbie Cooper,
Mm.
who sang on the Change records, the later Change records, not the very early ones. Um, and I used to always giggle. I was like, so they must have come up with the name because they never keep the same singers. It's all different people.
There's another fabulous shot.
Oh my goodness. Oh gosh. That's just like from a photo shoot from many years ago.
Really
Yeah.
fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's an
good stuff,
oldie.
huh?
That is so I did one record for Elektra Records, and this was the dance song that was done by Narda Michael Walden. He
Hmm.
also did the hit single "How Can I Ease the Pain" as well. He produced those two. What did he do? I think he did another one too. I'm getting so old and crazy, but I know he did these two, and that's where that photo's from. Yeah,
That is
that was
cool. I love
fantastic.
this too.
Oh, my dear friend. Oh my God. So Martha Redbone is an amazing singer. She has her hands in so many things. She's I forget what tribe.
Yeah.
She's from, but she's
Yeah.
Native American,
Mm-hmm.
African American, and she does a lot of beautiful projects that features the music that she grew up with, um, and that she so gracefully shares with the rest of us.
Mm.
Um, she's a great friend, and she's an amazing songwriter. Her and her husband, Aaron,
Mm.
have a beautiful son, and she's a really great friend.
She's a good friend. That's great to be surrounded by beautiful people
Yeah.
like the one and only Aaron Neville. I got to work on a PBS special with him, and he couldn't have been more warm and
Oh,
affable and engaging and nice,
yeah.
and just really, he was like telling the crew, whatever you need, I'm here. Just a great soul, huh?
He truly, truly is so peaceful. Yeah, just love him.
Yeah. You've had opportunities to do some things with him over the years?
We've done a few shows in
Yeah.
passing.
Yeah.
I want to say this was taken backstage at the Beacon Theater
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
some years ago. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow, this was an outdoor date. Wow. Was it in Denver? I don't remember where this was, but I remember it was cold that
Yeah.
night.
You'll remember there's certain things that we remember, right? That are,
Yeah.
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 But our
This
folks
is
have,
when I was starting with Grand Baton with
oh, yes. Right.
Terry and JC and Aiden. And
Yeah.
we were doing these shows right after the film was
Yeah.
released.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love the reactions the guests have to the photos because they never know what's coming next, or and the reactions are so cool. That's a great shot.
Thank you. I was home getting ready for a Stones tour.
You were.
I was
Yeah.
trying on
Yeah.
different
Just
lipsticks and
all
just doing
different.
whatever.
Yeah. That is great. We got that one too. And
Yeah. Oh my
that's,
goodness.
yeah,
That was
that's
a
you.
date
Yeah.
somewhere. Might have been the Dakota. I'm not sure. Not sure where that's from.
That's a great shot. Just a typical, of you just giving 110% as you do. This is a great one too.
Oh.
I love your reactions.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I haven't seen these in a while.
So tell us about this one for the audience.
I'm trying to remember where I was.
Yeah.
I honestly don't remember.
Yeah.
I'd have to look at the caption.
This is, it's funny that the fan club this may have been Santa Cruz.
Oh, okay, good.
Or Montana.
Montana.
It could be.
Thanks, Nate.
They got your back.
Oh, man.
They
I'm a
got,
lucky girl.
yeah.
I'm a lucky girl.
Mm,
Well, that one's easy. That was at the Blue Note, New York.
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So my manager, Linda Goldstein, is on the left.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like a real idiot because I should know this young man's name. We just did something recently, and I feel like a fool.
Oh, that's cool.
My brain cells are really bad, but he's an amazing artist, singer,
Yeah.
guitarist. He's badass. And I can't think of his name right this second.
I love this
Oh
one
my
too.
goodness.
Yeah.
This
Beautiful
may
shot.
have been in Puglia. Puglia?
Mm-hmm. I think yes.
Maybe.
I think yes. I think you're right.
The Della Taranta Festival, perhaps. I think that might have been it.
Fabulous shot. And there you go, huh?
Oh, wow. Oh, I'm not sure. That feels like San Francisco somewhere.
You got that vibe, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at this one.
Hey!
Fabulous. Aye. Aye. Is there a vein there too? Or you look fantastic. It's a great look, great shot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sometimes after you finish a show and you look in the mirror right before you take your makeup off, you're thinking,
Yes.
why wash it down the sink? Why not just take a few pictures and see if I can
Exactly
get
right.
anything that I can use?
Yeah. Kathleen in New York City says great photos, loving it
Oh,
too. They're all enjoying just seeing some of these different shots here over the years. That's a
yeah.
great one too.
I was having so much fun.
Really kicking it there. Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now look at
Oh,
this. There's always beginnings.
oh my
There's
goodness.
always
So that's my
beginnings.
mom on the couch.
Yes.
My
Yeah.
dad loved to shoot. He loved his guns. He loved target
Sure.
practice. We used to go upstate New York,
Yeah.
and he would hunt and shoot up stuff.
Yeah.
To the left is my baby brother Anthony. In the middle is my middle brother Donnie, and the right is me. And my dad took this photo.
And nothing like family, right? Your parents' strong inspirations
Yeah,
and your
that's my
dad.
dad on the right.
Yeah.
That's my dad. That's my mom in the middle. And to the left is my grandpa, my paternal grandfather. Yeah,
Wow, huh?
I miss them.
Yes, absolutely. Lots of inspiration there and lots of what we call levity in that shot and these family shots. This too, I love this,
Oh, wow.
nice right up in there in the indie post.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
indie post. A lovely young woman reached out to me
Mm.
to do this. She was very lovely, and I was very grateful to be able to do that.
Now here's a great shot.
Yeah.
This is, I think, is this Amagansett out
It
on
is.
Long Island? Yeah. Tell
Yes.
us what was happening with this, Lisa.
So Ivan Neville
Yeah.
played. That's Greg Williamson who put the whole thing together. I'm going to sip this water. That's Brendan right next to Greg, who, without the crew making
Yeah.
everything go smoothly,
Yeah.
it's a done deal.
Yes.
Sitting down right under Brendan is Louis Cato, who's an amazing artist, soul. He can play so many instruments, and he sings from his gut.
Yeah.
He's excellent. I love him. He was on the show.
Yeah.
And here again, I cannot think of his name. It's killing me.
It happens. Every guest, it happens. Every guest. You can text me at 2 a.m. and then I'll relay it
I feel
I'll
like such
relay
a
it to the
fool.
crowd.
And then Nicole, the young lady to the
Nicole.
right, who assists Greg. She's such a great. She makes stuff happen.
She makes stuff
When
happen.
he dreams it, she sure gets
turns
done.
it into reality.
Yeah.
Look at that
Oh,
shot.
wow. The Apollo?
Yes.
How Can I Use the Pain, perhaps? Yeah.
Yes.
1991-ish?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing when you really think about your body of work, all the people, all the locations, all the music, all the blood, sweat, and tears, all the hours. There you
Oh, my
go
goodness.
there. Yeah.
Mick playing that guitar.
Yes.
I love that shot. He's amazing.
Have you ever had a chance to work with Ronnie Spector at all? She's a dear friend.
Oh, wow. Maybe on a session, perhaps, for her.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a chance to sing background with her live.
Yeah.
But sweet as pie. So sweet.
Yeah. An amazing individual.
Beautiful soul.
Yeah, absolutely. An amazing individual as well.
Yeah.
This one is cool.
Oh, God. A young lady. Let me see. Is this the right? Yes, I believe a woman named Michelle. I can't think of her last name. Took these photos. She's an amazing photographer. And we were just backstage. Oh, wow. This was, though this is a promo shot, the original photo came from a photographer that was at, was it Sundance? And they had us backstage taking photos, and we were all doing these different things.
Yeah.
And so I was able to ask his permission to use some of these photos because I just love the energy of them. Oh, this is, wow. This is with Lines Ballet, Alonzo King's Lines Ballet. And we were, oh God, it was out in San Francisco, I believe, unless this was the one in Paris. I'm not positive if it was or
I think
not.
this one was Paris from what we
Okay.
saw. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Really, really nice. So
I
that was
love
happening
that.
while you were performing. Beautiful.
Yes, I love it.
There's another.
Oh, wow. This was a rehearsal for, I see JC. Oh, my.
At the National Philharmonic.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
National
Yeah,
Philharmonic.
this was like the sound check.
Yeah. Isigar, he's watching in Barcelona, Spain. It says, photos, fantastic.
Oh,
Loving
thank
it.
you, CK.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. I haven't
Really
seen one of
beautiful.
these in a while.
Yeah. Well, I love to, we love to sprinkle them in, here and there as we're sort of going along. That shot we love too. That's, there's just so many of them. That's a cool one too.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So during lockdown, last year in my very small apartment, I was lucky enough to be asked to sing something to honor Dionne Warwick. And so I chose Valley of the Dolls. And I actually filmed myself doing the video.
Very nice.
So it was a time of learning how to, record myself at home.
Yes.
Audio, learning all the tech stuff. It was just like, but then separating myself enough from it to where I could be in the moment. So it was really an interesting time.
That song, of course, which people still love and refer to, How Can I Ease the Pain, has become iconic, and you earned your very first Best R&B Performance Grammy with that song. Tell us about, the inspiration for that song and the message of that song and what it is about that song that seems to resonate deeply with people.
I don't know for other people what it is because, it's such a personal walk. But I know for me, it was a story about being in love with someone that, you really shouldn't be in love with. And feeling so weak and feeling that even though you should let go, you don't let go, and so you ask yourself, how do I ease this hurt in my heart, because you feel like this is not the right situation for me. Feels good, but I don't think this is the right situation for me, and you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to let go, I'm going to let go, I'm going to let go, and then the person keeps coming back. They keep coming back, and you're just like, oh, take the knife out of my heart already, because there always seems to be this space that you make for someone when you have sort of allowed yourself to feel that love.
Yes.
You see an old boyfriend or your old girlfriend or, whoever it is.
Right.
And there's always that little parking space in there somewhere. you know. Um,
Exactly.
it's there.
Yeah.
You can't erase it. And so that's kind of what that song is a bit about.
And I'm sure people have, in their various ways, shapes, and forms expressed to you over the years how that song has touched them. And the same for just your career and your presence. It's a beautiful thing when you hear back from those who you touch, because we sometimes in the work that we do, we do the work, we have a certain reason, we want to inspire, we want to lift others up, we want to touch lives. But then you come across somebody in a supermarket or wherever they are, and they come up to you and just pour their heart out as far as how what you do, that you do so well, that comes naturally, that you've also, tweaked and fine-tuned and honed your craft and all of the expertise that's tied in, just in an effortless way are able to project, that they have grabbed onto, and it has deeply moved them. It caused them to think, caused them to act, caused them to feel, caused them to love, caused them to heal. All of these things, when you have those moments, it must really be the icing on the cake for you. It must be like, I'm not doing this for the awards and the accolades, though they're there. This is why I do what I do. That
That
must be
connection.
that
Yeah.
connection.
That thing where when you're alone having your thoughts and feeling like you're the only one having these thoughts, it's nice to know that you're not really alone.
Are there things, so I'd imagine there are, but are there a few things that are still on that Lisa Fischer bucket list that Ms. Fischer would like to do, or duets you'd like to do, people you'd love to work with, or anything that comes to mind that you look ahead towards?
Oh, wow. I'm so open. There's so many beautiful people who are known and unknown that I
Yes.
would love to have a musical exchange conversation with, and so I'm just open to all of it. I think this coming year, if it is meant to be, I'm preparing to make good on a promise of recording. We have some plans, and this is the closest I've felt to actually getting it done. So I'm really
Fantastic.
looking forward to that. So I'm hoping that I can release a few projects for next year,
Mhm.
and develop some surprises for next year as well. So
That's beautiful.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the year to come. And I'm
Yes.
just praying that we all have the opportunity to grow and to dream and to create and to be safe and to be healthy and to be cherished.
Yes.
Yeah.
What are some of those blessings and joys in your life that continue to propel you forward through everything that life delivers our way? I love the way you take a moment to really think and feel about what is presented your way. I think you've been doing that ever since you were a little girl. You take time and you give it great honor and respect, whatever it is that's coming your way. And I'm similar to that. That's why I identify it. I think it's just, I've noticed that even through this conversation, how you do that. And I think that's beautiful.
Thank you. Now I forgot the question. I'm so bad. Isn't that funny?
I know. That was such an emotional moment for us both, right? How some of those blessings and joys in your life that continue to, you know, give you that inspiration to want to move forward through everything that life throws our way.
Yeah. The feeling of surprising yourself, you know, that feeling of following that thing in you, that voice, that spirit, that gut, that intuition, that beautiful thing that, you know, whenever you try to name it, it just goes beyond a name. When you're in tune with what you can't see, and then you begin to see the thing that you felt, that you hoped was there, and those things starting to actually come alive. It's like you're birthing this experience. You're here and you're feeling these experiences, and you're hopeful that these experiences will be what you need and what you want. Just the gift of living, you know, the pain too, you know, the pain shapes us, and there's always the extremes. And so, you know, balancing those things out and getting to the other side to enjoy the good stuff is just the best for me.
It's so true. It's all about that balance and finding that harmony and that balance to make sense out of it all. You know, do you teach others? Do you mentor others because you just have this innate way about you that would be so mentoring? And is there a desire to inspire the young minds coming up and teach others? Is it something that you're doing or would love to do?
Sometimes I get an opportunity to, you know, go to a college and, you know, do a master class, or you know, somebody will reach out to me on social media and ask questions or share thoughts. That I think is enough for me,
Yeah.
because I get the feeling a lot of times some people really want to taste life with their own tongue. You know, they don't want to ask you if the water's cold. They'd rather jump in and feel the coolness of the water.
Right.
You know, for them it's more real. You know, so some people, that's sort of like how they learn. You know, some people learn better reading something versus watching it on video. You know, some
Right.
people would prefer to go on YouTube and learn something on video as opposed to
Right.
reading it. So everybody's got their style. I almost wish, you know, that there was like a huge school that figured out how kids learn the best. Like, how does each child learn the best, and then use that as the gateway to teach them everything else that they want to know, you know, as opposed to everybody sort of kind of learning in a particular way. But, you know, I'm a little
Right.
crazy. I don't know if that would work, but
No,
it
I think it's a
seems
great
like it would be so
idea.
much fun. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It sounds like a really, really great idea. I love that
Yeah.
idea. Just want to show you as well, Ms. Lisa, some of the wonderful comments that are coming in here. Joan says, Jim and Lisa, thank you for a lovely evening. Lisa, Merry Christmas. Have a wonderful New Year.
Thank you.
Maureen, watching in Arizona, says, Lisa, I love how you see beauty in every person and every experience.
Aw.
Very, very beautiful. Said, Lily Rolla-Quinn says, how well explained. Thank you.
Oh.
The fan club says, woohoo. Lisa says, very lovely to hear about new music coming soon from Lisa. And thank you for sharing, which is very, very beautifully done.
Oh, that's so
From your
beautiful.
lips to God's ears, Lisa. Lisa is so insightful and inspiring. I agree
Oh.
110%. Crisp Avatar says, woohoo, a promise to
Hey,
record.
Chris.
Been commenting throughout the, I think tried to help out on one of the photos, maybe two, and I think said it's Marcus King.
Thank you. Oh
Yes.
my God, that was driving me
She wasn't going to be
nuts.
able to sleep tonight until that. And then the fan club said Strathmore for one of them as well.
Oh, okay, maybe one of the locations.
They
Thank
got your
you.
back.
Oh my
They're
God.
there. They're lovities too, aren't they? They are
They're
lovities.
amazing. They have been from the beginning, like when I
Yeah.
first started
Oh yeah.
doing these shows on my own. Once I
Yes.
decided to leave the Stones, yeah.
Yeah.
They've been there since the beginning, and I
Was that
just,
a hard decision to
huh?
leave? Was that a hard decision to leave?
Oh my God. I cried
Mhm.
so hard. I cried so hard.
Yeah.
It got to the point where I was canceling dates, my own dates, uh, because the Stones tour was shifting. Um, and at first, the promoters thought it was kind of cute. Oh yeah, no, do the Stones, what you got to do. But then after a while, they were kind of like, they weren't. They felt that I wasn't taking myself seriously as an artist. So they're kind of like, you keep doing this, you may not have any gigs to come back to after a Stones gig. So, so I had to make a decision, and it was scary because I could fail.
Sure.
I could fail. I, um, but it was complicated because, at that time, this was like, I was 8, 9 years ago. I'm 63, so it was, I don't know, 50, whatever. You get to a point working for people
Mm-hmm.
at a particular age where you feel like, am I getting too old? Am I going to be a liability? Do I have the stamina? You're thinking all these things. And I thought maybe this is my chance to just take a chance on me.
Mm-hmm.
But it was scary. And it was emotional because it was like over 20 years of loving and being around these beautiful souls that have given me so much. So it was really hard for me. I knew they'd be fine, because they rock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were rocking
They've got it.
probably
Yeah.
before I was born. So I knew they'd be okay, but I just, yeah, it was hard.
It's amazing that you say that because right now, during this time of the pandemic, a lot of people are in a similar position where they've been doing something for years, whether it's working in corporate or whatever it is. And now there's been this great time to stop, look in the mirror and say, am I doing things that now inspire me, lift me? Am I doing things that connect with others? And a lot of people are making major changes and, leaving even six-figure jobs because it's not speaking to the essence of who they are, to their
Yeah,
heart and soul. They're looking at time left and what can I do to really fill my cup, fill my heart while
yeah,
connecting and leaving the room better than they found it.
that's right.
And so there's this mass conversation about that as well. As somebody who's had that decision well before pandemics, what would you say? Think about it and maybe give yourself, you know, um, the opportunity, allow yourself to explore if you've got this yearning and burning inside.
I think it'll be a natural transition for people that are feeling that, either that angst or that fear or that discomfort that's going to make them search something else out. I feel like this is a time period where we're probably listening to whatever the voices are saying. If the voice is afraid, if the voice is curious, if the voice is hopeful, if the voice is whatever emotions that your voice or voices are going through, you're going to be hearing them. You've been hearing them. And I would try to figure out which voices are speaking truth to you in the long run.
Right.
You know,
right.
Those voices of fear are also truthful. And then once you see what each of those voices are saying, and then kind of putting them in a place where you can break free and be and really be. Yeah.
Beautifully said. That's really what it's about. You listen to the voices, right? Exactly. Pay heed to them, because you might have shoved them aside over the years, kind of like that Death Valley story, sort of full circle here, where maybe when I was 20, I wouldn't have felt or understood the gift that was before me to go and take that rental car and drive in alone without all of the family and friends and everything else, and just experience the divine, the earth, and Mother Nature coming together, guiding you, and trust in them. They can wipe you out in a second if they want, but trust in them and they will guide, and you'll come out of that a richer person, with a deeper perspective. It's probably always like that, even as a kid, but always sort of deep and feeler and thinker and all of that. I love to feel things. I always ask why first. And, but this just really enhanced all of that. So,
It's
beautifully
interesting.
beautifully said, because it's full circle to what we're talking about.
Yeah, we're
Listen to
so
those
used to
voices,
ignoring.
the gifts that are sometimes right there. And they don't have to be gifts in big boxes with big bows and that are blinking, you know. What a
Yeah.
week to be talking about that, Christmas week. What a beautiful week to be talking about that too.
Yeah.
It's a very special time in our lives. Um, and there are many gifts. The best gift is when our eyes open up. That's gift number one. That's
Yeah.
gift number one. And what
Yeah.
we do with it the
I
rest
mean,
of
I'm
the day.
sure, manufacturers and, probably a lot of kids wouldn't want to hear this, but I almost wish there was a Christmas where people wouldn't buy a thing. I know that sounds really crazy, but I
Yes.
almost feel like when I say not buy a thing, I kind of mean like almost don't exchange gifts. The gift is connecting,
Yes.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
um, spending time,
Hmm.
even if it's over the phone, if it's in a letter. Don't even buy a Christmas card, just write a letter, you know. Just give of yourself. Yeah, give of yourself. Or, if you want to create something for someone or sew something for somebody or, cook them their favorite cake or whatever it is. But like to just kind of go out and buy the latest and the greatest and the biggest and the shiniest and I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling a bit weary. Feeling a bit weary of that.
I
For
know
me.
it's a little, no, I'm right there with you. I say the
Mhm.
same thing all the time.
Yeah.
I say the same thing all the time.
Yeah.
It's,
Well,
we've
there's probably
learned.
10 kids lining up at my door and going, "Are you out of your mind?"
Aren't I still on the list? Come on.
You're right.
If
Get
you
her
want,
out of
yeah,
here.
yeah, it's like, don't worry, there'll be something under the tree. We're
You're right.
talking about a little bit deeper when you grow, not out
Yeah.
of that, but when you realize
Yeah.
what's very precious in life, which is,
Absolutely.
for me, a conversation like this with somebody who I love and revere as yourself. We've had an opportunity to work together, break bread, and now here we are conversing in this. And this is the way I like to do it: live, conversational, warm, freestyle, no questions, no script, no editing. Let it roll. I like to do it in my professional work in television, radio when I can. And
Mhm.
that's one of the reasons why I started this series. And people have said to me, are you going to keep doing this once the pandemic has passed? And I said, absolutely,
Yeah.
because it seems to be something that people are craving and wanting and needing.
Yes.
Um, and a conversation like this is just a beautiful gift. And our viewers have been commenting left and right, even the fan club.
Wow.
Lisa Fischer put the mask on herself first. Full circle conversation. Incredible. Marty Thompson's, who's a wonderful crooner from Australia. He lives in Nashville. He goes, only those who dare to fall greatly or fail greatly ever achieve greatly. And you are the testimony, Lisa.
Oh, wow.
Thank you, Marty. Gary in Iowa. This is the kind of show we have here, Lisa. So anytime you want to pop on, whether
Yeah.
for a long chat like this or a short chat, you're always welcome. But
Thank
we don't even put a
you.
clock on it. We let it roll for as long as, the
Yeah.
guest wants to be here.
Yeah.
Lovity, Lisa, thank you for this beautiful conversation with Jim. Merry Christmas and blessings for the new year. From Gary in Iowa, Maureen in Arizona. As the saying goes, each day is a gift from God. What you do with that day is your gift to God. I love
Wow, that's
that.
beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? Really
Yeah.
is. Also says, I totally agree that time is the most precious gift you can give to someone. It passes too quickly. Merlin in Ontario, Canada. Great to have met you, Lisa. Merry Christmas to
Thank
you.
you.
Alessandra in North Carolina, USA says, thanks for coming on to the show, Lisa. I love
Mm.
that. Kathleen in New York City. Wonderful conversation. Thank you both. She loved it as well. I really appreciate those comments coming in. Marty Thompson in Nashville says, thanks for having, yes, he was a guest on our show yesterday,
Oh, wow.
and he did a Christmas song. He's been going through, he's a phenomenal RC crooner. I mean, he's worked on the biggest stages in Las Vegas he was with the BBC orchestra and band as a performer, but he's going through a neurological disorder where he was supposed to be gone a year ago, but God has given him
Mm.
another chance to be with us, to grace us with his hard soul. And says, Lisa is very cool and a classy lady. The open lyrics to ease the pain, all alone on my knees, I pray for the strength to stay away. He says, wow. So obviously the song,
Oh,
moves him. And I
it's
love this. This is just, thanks for all these comments, gang. You guys are the
so
best.
beautiful.
This is the kind of atmosphere and community I wanted to create with this as we sort of developed it, Lisa. And it's really just, you fit right into it. I knew you just roll right in. And, somebody was here that wanted to say hello, that loved it too. Mr. George Burns in the house.
He's looking really good. Look at
Doesn't he
him.
look good? I mean, look, he's got the cigar, how dapper he is. And yeah, we usually
And the
chose
little red
a little hanky there.
kerchief.
And
Yes,
yeah, the
yes.
handkerchief. Well, this was my aunt's. My mother's the youngest of 16. And one of my aunts, my Aunt Lillian, collected dolls. And when he turned 100, I guess there was a collector edition of the George Burns doll. So she got it. So it got passed down to me. So towards the latter part of this show, he became part of the show, and I bring him on towards the end, and everybody gets a kick out of it. And he said, "You
I
knocked
love
it out of
it.
the
He's
park, Ms. Fisher.
adorable.
You knocked it out of the park." He loved it.
Oh, he's so
Can't not smile with
amazing.
George there, huh?
That's beautiful.
That's fantastic. Well,
Oh,
I tell you, I'm so glad I'm so glad, pull the ear. I'm so glad we had this time together, Carol Burnett. Uh, I'm so glad that our paths have crossed in life, because I do believe on a lot of levels, we're kindred spirits in many ways. And I sense that when we first met through Carnegie Hall and Tim and everything, there was just something there. There's a certain vibe that connected with me in a way that I thought was really, really beautiful. And thanks, Jim and Lisa, for a great evening. Well done. We've got the thumbs up from the Lisa Fischer fan club. So that's great. Thank you, gang. We love you guys as well. Your fan club and our Lovities are now one, which is
beautiful.
absolutely
That is so
beautiful.
awesome.
And see, watching in Barcelona, Spain. Good night, Lisa, and sending you love from Barcelona.
Yeah.
This was beautiful, my friend. I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me as much as I have with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Joe.
You're very, very welcome. And we'll have you back, and let's stay in touch. Keep me posted on all the beautiful things you have coming up and you're doing. I wish you and your family nothing but all the blessings and joys of the upcoming Christmas and rolling into the new year. Just keep doing what you're doing. You're an amazing person, Lisa, and I'm honored to have you on the show today.
Thank you so much. And to you and your family as well, sweetie pie. Thank you for having me. Have a great holiday.
You too as well. You too as well. Keep making that magic, okay?
We'll do our best. Be well.
You too. Bye-bye. Ms. Lisa Fischer here on the Jim Masters Show live with what I think was an epic conversation. She really, really spent some time with us. And we got a chance to not just talk about all the usual things that people would chat about, of course, but go deeper. You got a chance to learn a little bit more about the person, not just the career, not just the music, not just the songs, not just the amazing people she's worked with, Luther Vandross, Chaka Khan, Tina Turner, also 9 Inch Nails too. We didn't mention that, but worked with them as well. Of course, Mick Jagger and the Rolling Stones. But our conversations sort of weaved in and out of her experiences, her passions, the way she looks at life, what inspires Lisa Fischer. So now when you listen to her incredible music, or you see her on stage or on a television show performance or whatever it may be, you'll have a deeper understanding of what makes her tick, who she is, why she does what she does, why she performs the music she performs, the decisions that she makes. You'll have a deeper understanding. That's one of the cool things about this show. As much as it's entertaining and we have all the fun, you also learn something about yourself, me, our guest, full circle with all that levity here on the show. Ms. Lisa Fischer, really an extraordinary person. And again, check her out online, get her music, fill your house with her music. I love that shot. Just really, thinking about life in so many different ways. But get her music. As I mentioned, we met at Carnegie Hall. This is backstage. And this was at the An American Christmas Carol concert. And I was the MC, and she was one of the breathtaking performers with our mutual friend, Tim Janis. And this again was with Sir James Galway, another dear friend, Lady Jane Galway. As a matter of fact, they were guests on the Jim Masters Show Live. You can see that episode. It was a Christmas episode, actually, from their home in Switzerland. And then that's myself. And then the wonderful Ms. Lisa Fischer is right there. This is behind the scenes at Carnegie Hall. And we've had an opportunity to work together on these kinds of events. And to see her just in a rehearsal knocks your socks off. She's a beautiful person inside and out. And don't you just love the way when we were chatting, how she wasn't diving right in? She was pausing. You could really get a sense that she was feeling it. She likes to feel things, you can tell. I'm very similar to that, and I think that's why I connected with her immediately as a friend. And she feels life. She feels it. And as she mentioned, sometimes, in the early part of our episode, if you missed anything with this episode, be sure and watch this again and let folks know that we've had the incomparable Ms. Lisa Fischer as a guest. She feels things. And sometimes you can even feel things a little too deeply. She mentioned that. She said sometimes she's had to learn, and I've had to learn too. You have to create some boundaries. You have to take time for yourself. You have to, learn to balance out the wanting to do and give and give and give with the ability and understanding to be able to breathe and to savor some of what you're doing for the rest of the world. Keep doing what you're doing for the rest of the world because it comes naturally. It's the essence of who you are. It's why you are here. But also take time to breathe. And you can tell and what you saw of Ms. Fischer tonight, that's her. That's her. There's no airs about her, nothing put on because we're here live on air. There was nothing like heightened or any plasticity to her at all. She's the real deal. She's authentic. And I've told this to her multiple times. It's so refreshing too, because sometimes you come across so many people who it's just about the image. It's just about maintaining the image. And you can only go within those parameters of this self-created, overly managed image, and that's it. So you never really get to the core of who that person is. And because they have to maintain this manufactured image, they too, underneath that, never get a chance to really express who they are in the way they really want to, in the way that they need to. And I think that it's so refreshing that Ms. Lisa Fischer is able to do that, is able to express herself in the way that she does. She really, really takes time and she thinks about it and she lets it marinate. I mean, you saw a lot of marination happening during this conversation. I tend to do that too. I'm very reflective. Even though I'm in a fast-paced business where I have to respond, television, radio, stage, film, got to move fast, keep it moving, folks, keep the traffic flowing. I really like to take time and reflect and let things sink in and feel it. Because then that guides me for the next thing I'm going to do, or the next situation that happens, or the next event, project, production, creative experience, the next dilemma that happens, the next thing that happens that isn't so pleasant, because I took the time to reflect and feel. And she did a lot with her hands too. I mean, she really described that bacon incredibly. I was starving when she did that. She should just do food videos. But you know what I mean? Everything to her there's also a sensual nature to some of it too, in just an automatic way. It's just, it flows in a very organic way. So I was saying that, people say I have that sort of ease. I hear that all the time in my professional work. There's an ease that oozes, an oozing ease. Ms. Fischer has it as well. And she's really a treasure, truly a treasure. And I'm glad you got a chance to really learn more about her. If you want to hear any of the music, just go online, Amazon, Spotify, iTunes, all the regular places, and pick up some of her music. If you've never heard her voice, you will love it. You will love it. Again, she's one of my favorite, voices, performers. And I was so excited that we were able to do this. We had looked at other different dates. She just came off a very successful tour too. She was, touring. So I wanted to not interfere with her tour. We were going to do it before her tour. I think we were looking at maybe early September. But then we decided, you know what? She's got the tour, should focus on the tour. And then when there's some downtime after the tour, before Christmas itself and the new year, we'll have her come in and we'll just have a nice conversation. And that's exactly what we did. And it was beautiful. Marty, thank you very much. Very generous. He just did the super chat here. And we thank you. I think you did that twice, Marty, and that was really, really beautiful. You did it earlier too, Marty. And it was a pleasure having you as a guest. If you didn't see our Christmas celebration with Jim and talented musical friends and guests yesterday, check that episode out. Marty, thank you so very much. Very generous. Again, that's the super chat, super emojis, super stickers you can do when the show is live. Helps support the show as well. And Marty, we really appreciate that love and support and all the different icons coming in from Merlin and Canada and Issy. Yeah, thank you very much. Merry Christmas to you as well. Issy watching in Barcelona, Spain. Very, very beautiful. But yeah, that Christmas episode was really fantastic yesterday. We thoroughly enjoyed that. I showed you the picture earlier of Lisa Fischer and myself backstage at Carnegie Hall with the incomparable Sir James Galway and Lady Jean Galway. Well, they were guests on our show as well. And if you missed that episode, check that out. Debbie Campbell, yes, Glenn Campbell's daughter, country music singer, was with us recently. The one and only Clint Holmes, another music legend, class act, Las Vegas icon, known for that song Playground in My Mind. He was with us recently as well. If you didn't see that episode, that's available on our YouTube channel. All these episodes are available on our YouTube channel right here at Jim Masters TV. Karen Grassley, who played Ma on Little House on the Prairie, was with us recently. Megan and Murrin from Celtic Woman were with us recently as well. Check that out. Again, all here on our YouTube channel, and almost 600 more episodes for your binge watching. That's really what it is. It's binge watching. Absolutely binge watching. Some really cool material, great content. Kathleen Walker says, very soothing and calming. Thank you, Jim. My pleasure. Listen to her sing. Not only is there soothing and calming, but she'll take the roof off too, Lisa. Her voice is so soulful and so powerful. Really is. And Marty says, very spiritual in her approach. I agree 100%. And Merlin says, Jim, your voice is very soothing. Thank you very much. I appreciate that as well. Good night from Issy in Barcelona, Spain. We love it. Merry Christmas to all of you. This is the Christmas week, and we wish you and yours all the blessings and joys of Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, beautiful New Year as well. We say happy holidays to all the lovedies watching around the world. And if you're not a lovedy yet, well, just the fact that you watched our show makes you a lovedy. And that's a cool thing. Lovedies come in all genders, income levels, zip codes, heights, weights, eye colors, political views, no political views, religious views, no religious views, whatever it may be. Lovedies are just good people and all ages. And that's part of our Lovedy squad here at the Jim Masters Show Live. Go tell it on the mountain that you love the Jim Masters Show Live. We'd appreciate that. Feliz Navidad as well. And good stuff, gang. We're going to get ready to wrap up here. Another wonderful show with dear friend Lisa Fischer joining us here. She was really amazing. Just looking at all these comments. When you see me looking in this direction, I'm looking at all the comments that are coming in, which are absolutely beautiful. We thank Miss Fischer for joining us, Grammy-winning vocalist, truly a song goddess. This really was an epic conversation, right around 2 hours, free-flowing and warm and enjoyable for me as well. And again, if you missed any of the conversation, feel free to watch it again. Just watch it again, and I think you will thoroughly enjoy it. You might have missed something, or if you came in late, join us by watching it archived on our YouTube channel. Again, our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV, where we're bringing back the lost art of conversation. Don't forget to subscribe. We would love it if you did. Click the notification bell so you never miss notifications. You'll be alerted every time we have our episodes. That would be fantastic as well. And give this episode a like. There's a thumbs up icon on our YouTube channel by this video, this episode. Give it a like as well. And if you enjoyed this episode with Ms. Lisa Fischer, that is, joining us here on the show, then just give us a thumbs up and leave a comment for us as well. We would love that. Having Ms. Lisa Fischer on the show was a blast. Don't forget to help us grow. Share the lovety. Tell everybody you know about the Jim Masters Show Live entertainment lifestyle talk show series. Again, this is not just an interview show. This is a full-out entertainment lifestyle variety talk show series. How do you know? Go back in the archives and look at some of the incredible episodes we've had and all the different directions we've gone in. Right here on Jim Masters TV. That is our YouTube channel. Give it some lovity. Don't forget to smile, gang. Don't forget to share the lovity. Don't forget to find your Zen place. Mine is the ocean. Of course, swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, sailing in it, all of it. But also time with loving family and friends. As Lisa Fischer said, time spent with loved ones is precious, and it's the best. And of course, my time and career in television, radio, stage, and film is also a very Zen place for me as well. So we say usually towards the end of the show, find your Zen place and share it with the rest of the world. Now, for those of you watching, we may be doing a quick pop-up show tomorrow. We have some gifts that have come in and some cards that have come in from all of you fabulous people, which I sincerely appreciate. And we're going to try to open some of those on the air tomorrow. So if we do have a pop-up show, we will, a holiday pop-up show, quick one. We'll post it on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We'll also post it on our Facebook page, Jim Masters TV. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, all at Jim Masters TV. And our Lovity Hall Facebook group. We have a Facebook group for this series. It's called the Jim Masters Show Lovity Hall. It's on Facebook. And we'll post there as well an announcement if we have that happening. Maureen says, what a fantastic show this was. Always the best way to spend an evening. Good night, and may your dreams be sweet, everyone. And tight hugs. Lovely hugs to you all. You as well, Maureen. Kathleen Walker says, have a great night. See you tomorrow. And good night, all, and hugs in New York City, Barcelona, Isigari as well. And I'm sure you can't wait to start your vacation. I know you'll enjoy, so glad for you. Yes, we are heading to warmer climate in about 24 hours or so and cannot wait. Merry Christmas, everyone, from Alessandra and from Isigari, watching in Barcelona, Spain, and Alessandra in North Carolina, and Gary in Iowa, USA. Good night, Jim, and all lovities. You as well. Thanks, gang. Really an epic conversation. We appreciate all of you for watching and supporting and celebrating what we're doing here in this unique place we call the Jim Masters Show Live, or as you guys like to refer to it, Lovity Hall. And I usually do this in the beginning, but I decided to change it up and do it at the end. We toast all of you as well for the holidays. A very, very Merry Christmas and all the blessings and joys of the holiday season, and Kwanzaa and Hanukkah, and of course the upcoming New Year as well. When we are away, we will also do some on-location shows for you guys as well. So definitely look for that. We love you all. Take care and be well. Merry Christmas. And again, we toast Ms. Lisa Fischer for joining us, and we toast all of you for joining us as well. Take a sip, sip. Looks fancy schmancy, right? Nothing in there but sweet tea. That's it. There's just some sweet tea in there. Hey, it's only what, Monday? Sweet tea, sweet tea. And we love it. And Marty Thompson in Nashville says, may all your lovities be merry and bright. Absolutely. I hope the post office holds the package I sent you. Ooh, I hope they do too. But with the mail being so slow, I'll probably get it by Valentine's Day. That looks peachy. Oh, the cocktail? That's really just some sweet tea. You know, iced tea, the sweet tea. Hope you're doing well, Gary. Thanks for being with us. And Merry Christmas from Kathleen Walker in New York City. We have the best audience, really, and we're working hard behind the scenes to bring you great entertainment, poignant conversations, lots of laughs, full circle, full variety of everything here at the show. And it was good to see the Lisa Fischer fan club joining us as well. Welcome to all of you. I hope you'll join us again. I can scroll back and look at some of the great episodes of our series as well. Lots here to watch, lots here to enjoy. I love this shot too. The badass and the beautiful Ms. Lisa Fischer, my special guest tonight on the Jim Masters Show Live. Very, very cool. All right, gang, we're going to hightail out of here. It's about 10:30 in the evening. Again, the blessings of the holidays. Thank you for your time this time. Till next time, we'll see you on the next episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. Be well. Happy holiday seasons. Greetings to you all. And we love having you here as often as you are. If you're here live, thank you very much. If you're watching this in the archives, we thank you for being with us as well. Take care and be well, gang. We love you all. Bye-bye. Cheers.